Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna and this morning we're visiting with Adam Huber. He's the Allen County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Joanna. How are you?
I'm doing well. And Adam, I know that you're a wildlife enthusiast.
That's right.
And so this time of year, some people might not be thinking about food plots, but it might be a great time to start thinking about some of those.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's never too late really to start planning your fall wildlife food plots. We're here late summer now, really, and in August, September time frames when we really need to be planting our food plots for the fall season. If we're talking about especially our annual crops that we would plant for wildlife, this is really the time to start kind of planning, maybe plotting it out on a piece of paper, on a map, and then seeing, what you think you might want to plant, and things like that. So definitely right now is definitely a time that we need to be thinking about it for our future, in the next few weeks of planting.
Now, is it important to get a soil test? The species that we plant, is it important to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. With especially if it's just say it's a new piece of ground that you've never even planted a plot on before, definitely we want to soil test that. We do that here at the Cooperative Extension Service. You bring your soil tests in, we'll send those to the lab and get your results, within 7 to 14 days typically. And even if it is a new or a plot that you've had food plots in for several years, it's recommended to soil test those every 2 years at least, just so you know what your ground's holding, what nutrients that your soil's going to need for those plants. And so it's always a great idea to soil test prior to at least a few months in advance of planting your plots.
Okay, so we've decided that we want to do some wildlife plots, but if people have no idea where to get started, what type of species are we thinking about?
Yeah, so that's a good question. It really depends on what time of the year you're wanting to attract those species, and also what wildlife species that you are wanting to bring in. And so, there's a lot of good options that kind of are good for all wildlife. And so, we can start with an annual clover, a crimson clover or an arrowleaf clover. Those are annual clovers, which are legumes, which they fix their own nitrogens in your soil. So cuts down the on your fertilizer bill for sure. So that's that could be an option for you. That's going to attract your white-tailed deer, your turkeys, rabbits, things like that. And that's going to be good for your earlier in the season. So like October time frame. Crimson clover is really good for attracting those deer. It's really palatable and nutritious for them. So you're really going to see a lot of attraction during that earlier part of the season. Now, there's some other options for later on in the season. We've got some species like 7-top turnips, purple top turnips. Your 7-top don't have a bulb on them. It's just the leaf part of the plant. Your purple tops, they do have a bulb, so they have the bulb under the ground. And there's also some products like chicory. That's really palatable and good for the deer. We all know that deer really like corn and soybeans, so if you've got a larger tract of land, you could plant that for the deer later on in the season. Leave that standing because you're not harvesting that for a crop. There's really a lot of different options for you, as far as attracting any kind of deer or turkey, wildlife species.
Absolutely. Now, Adam, you mentioned like at different times of year, some of these were better. Is there a way that you can plant like a mix so you can kind of have that all throughout the season?
Yeah, that would be the preferred method actually. If you've got a mixture of say crimson clovers and your turnips and some chicories, you've got all three of those, 3 or 4 of those species mixed together. You're pretty much covering your bases. You got food from October all the way till about January-ish, depending on the pressure that the grazing pressure of the wildlife you've got on your property.
Now, Adam, do we have resources available at the Extension office if people have questions about food plots?
Yeah, we've got some resources available, and the best way would be to contact your local Extension office in your county. They can get you in contact with the right people and get the right resources to you. The Simpson County Ag Agent and I actually did a research project on food plots, so we'd definitely be glad to share those results with you. We have a wildlife specialist at the university as well. We've got a lot of resources here that we can definitely help you with.
All right. Well, Adam, certainly appreciate the information. And if you have any questions, make sure to contact your local Extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.